Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
And not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with third and about 6 yards to go. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on second down. On third down, Wilson. They dump off underneath to Ajayi. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys on plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3. This is where the ball goes anymore.
And Rodgers has it over on the right side. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first down, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Now it's Ajayi, and he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to make it fourth down. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And you can't do it much better than that. This ball kicks out of bounds at the 4-yard line. So now here come the Dolphins. And tough starting field position here. Now a play fake here on first down. And incomplete to open things up.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that that fell harmlessly to the ground. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. This one complete to Devin Funchess. A big play there on the catch and run. And even 70 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
On 1st and 10, Bender. That is caught inside the 5. And they do get him down, but not before he reaches the 4-yard line. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Here's a carry now for Keith Marshall. And he is out of bounds here. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
They'll try to run it in to Marshall. Keith Marshall with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Dolphins are going to take a first-quarter lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Here's the Jet offense now. They head out to take over. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
There are the numbers last week for Jay Ajayi. 17 carries, 77 yards.
In a perfect world, they'd run the ball the same way they did last week, but against the #1 rush defense in the league, they're going to have to find a different way to move the ball. Maybe they start throwing it early and come back to the run.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Give them 12 yards there, and the Jets have a first.
That throw has to be a quarterback's dream, doesn't it? Big tight end, curling in the middle of the field, just great sight lines for him. And when they show their numbers back to the quarterback, when they sit down right there, that should be pitch and catch.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
From the gun, it's Wilson. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
On second down, Wilson. And Cooks hands it over the middle. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
And incomplete, a disappointing drop there defensively by the rookie. And now fourth down.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, They remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. Update now from a game going on in Pittsburgh. Early on, it's the Vikings in the driver's seat. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up the score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down. On that catch, he's already eclipsed 100 yards here in the first quarter. Charles, he's on pace for over 400.
And playing with great confidence, isn't he? I think he probably had it coming into the game, and now that he's really come out of the gate this strongly, how'd you like to be in the huddle with him right now? You know he's demanding the football.
Me the ball.
And guess what? I throw it to him.
And now look at him go. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Keith Marshall doing it again with his third touchdown here in the opening quarter. And the Dolphins strike quickly here for 6 points. He's on pace now for 12 rushing touchdowns, and I think he's making fantasy owners smile.
I think you've got to change something on defense, don't you? I mean, we often talk about using a spy on a quarterback who has the ability to run and maneuver outside of the pocket. Maybe they need to change that to spying him, because this many touchdowns this early, that is demoralizing for a defense. One guy breaking them down.
Well, New York set to take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. 17 yards for the Jets there as they've got themselves a first down.
Not too many teams will use a first-round pick on a tight end, so you know that when one does, he's got to be pretty darn special.
A small example of why they took him in the first round there. Nice little catch and run to get the good yardage. They go play action here on first down. And he's got room. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll bring up a second down. With Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Jets in possession as we begin quarter number 2 here. They're looking at a second and short yardage to start things out. Wilson drops it off to Ajayi. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against...
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result?
Sack.
Quarterback gets hit.
Here's Ajayi. And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. 9 good yards there on the run, and now third down.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
From the gun on third down, Wilson. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. And this one is right down Broadway. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
Yeah, as an offensive coordinator, if you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work. But in his defense, this has been a stifling defense so far. So they've got to start finding a way to unlock them as this game goes on.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Hoping now to get back in the end zone on this 4th possession. Over the middle, complete. It's Lyons. And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one. When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
This is Marshall. Slipped 1 tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Don't forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
On 3rd down, it's Bird. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. The ball still a few inches shy of the marker after the 3-yard run, so now a little soul-searching on 4th down. They'll go with a keeper. And he'll get nothing out of that one.
Now, that was a little bit longer distance than you would expect to see for a quarterback sneak. Normally, it's 4th and 1, 4th and inches, but when you get interior linemen trying to get upfield for a pass play, sometimes you can blow past them on the sneak, and it worked well for them.
All right, here we go. Gun! Leopard! Back there to that Philly. Here we go.
Off play action. Bender. Space to run past the 20. And he's got his man on the out route. And they do get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. That goes for a gain of 31.
No. Jack, Patriot!
2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to MetLife Stadium after this short timeout. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Larry Ridley will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Keith Marshall on his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Dolphins add on to their lead. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Jay Ajayi works his way back onto the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Here's Wilson to throw on third down. He finds Ajayi. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now it's Wilson. They set up the screen to Ajayi. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer,
and the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Here's Wilson. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Throwing on first down. Bender. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. He's at the 30. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A big play there. 88 yards. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Set to return. This is Brandon Cooks. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
On second down, here's Wilson. It's caught left side by Cooks. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. A really good pickup of 28 yards. They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
And his kick is good. So we've reached halftime here. And before we could even hear from Larry, we're back and ready to go in Week 5. Around the NFL, second quarter in Indianapolis. It's the Colts in that one that have grabbed the early lead. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half.
And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Caleb Brantley continuing to fight downfield. The big tackle gets him for a loss of 11.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
To throw on second down. Bender. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. And now following the incomplete pass, we'll get a timeout here for an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. So incomplete on second down. Now they'll look to convert here on third. Off the play fake. Bender. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A big third down conversion with a gain of 28. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
On first down, Bender. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. And they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
Now it's Wilson. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Shepard. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They run again with Ajayi. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right, he's pretty much been completely neutralized. They run with Ajayi. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. This is Ajayi. Strong run, but he's corralled just beyond the 40. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves him needing a conversion here on third and a tough 9.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
On third down, Wilson throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll bring up fourth down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Off play action. Bender. Looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 18 big yards on that one and a Miami first. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again. First down and 10 now for the offensive group.
Let's go, Detroit! Detroit!
Off the play fake. Bender. And he will find his man on the outside. And now a fumble. The ball's out. And the Jets have recovered. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
And they've got the hook up. This is Olsen. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. 23 yards on the play. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Keith Marshall, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Dolphins take advantage of the turnover and put up 6.
And this is the kind of day a running back dreams of. They keep handing him the ball, and he keeps taking it in for touchdowns.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And New York set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
7 yards on the play, and it'll be second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave them with a third and about 3 to go. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there to swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. Put on that.
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Off play action. Bender. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. 23 yards on the play. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people have pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. A very solid gain of 27. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
Off the play fake. Bender. Flushed out right. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Here we go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Keith Marshall, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Dolphins just continue to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And an excellent return there as he's up to the 35 and make it the 40-yard line.
Even after that big-time return, it's not looking great for them today. But if nothing else, even if the miracle doesn't happen, they can turn to this play and say, hey, we can move forward. Maybe it's a building block for the rest of the season.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Looking for Shepard deep. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And Conley's got it over the middle. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. The Jets on 3rd down. They've converted a 1/3 of their opportunities, 3 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 3. From the shotgun, Wilson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. The Dolphins getting set to go here. And Charles, in a very one-sided affair, I think we reached the point in the broadcast where you and I, we may have some filling to do, right?
Yeah, I think you're right about that because we got to try and keep people around. We don't want them to change the channel. Stay with us in this game. Is that Ben Ramsar? Are you hearing from Ben on the headset here? Tell us.
Stretch. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Leonard Williams. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Here we go now. Detroit! Detroit! Watch it now, Barney! Barney! Gone! 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 Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
Looking to throw on second down. Bender. Wide open receiver complete. And he's able to get this one up to the 45-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
A very solid gain of 27.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
Well, right now, maybe they're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
That was a nice throw out there to the flat, but they defended that pretty well. The hope is to go ahead and put it on him so he can turn and get upfield and gain additional yardage. There just wasn't anywhere to go on that play.
No. Check. Patriot. Patriot. All right, here we go. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Now, let's go.
In motion is Grant. Back to throw. Bender. And he's going to be taken down. Back around the 35-yard line. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
No. Check. Patriot. Patriot. Set. Green, 39. Gone.
Throwing on third and long. Bender. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
And it has been a good game for them. They haven't been pressured very much today, but on back-to-back sacks, maybe the defense is starting to figure something out.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Meanwhile, in Foxborough, there in the fourth quarter. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. A win would be their second on the young season.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end. We got 4. We got 4.
On first down, Wilson. Throw complete right side to Cooks. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
He was looking for his tight end, Richard Rodgers, that time. And it's third and short.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
And this one is incomplete. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. And out come the Dolphins now. They have the big cushion. Here in the final stages of this one, I don't know if there's any better feeling than being up big on the road.
There really can't be, because for a team to go on the road and win in the NFL, that's huge to begin with. But just think about all the preparation that went into it. When they first started talking about this game, leading up to it during the week, going on the road, unfamiliar city, obviously, unfamiliar hotel, No one's going to be with you once you get to the stadium. They're all going to be against you. You name it, all those things they had to deal with, they were able to conquer them and do it convincingly.
Yeah, they did it very convincingly, and now the final moments of this one. The Dolphins on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Looking to throw. Bender. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Leonard Williams in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th.
Now let's go. Boom, landed. No. Check. Patriot.
Off play action. Bender. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And got his man complete. And all the way down to the 36-yard line. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Dolphins, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And they'll return home next week to take on the Oakland Raiders. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they'll fall to 1-4 with a loss. And perhaps fortunately for them, they'll get an early bye next week and come back to action in Week 7. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long, everybody.